You're listening to Throwback Thursdays with myself, Nikki, Clarke, and the amazing Keith Harris. And on the line is, she's an author, she is a painter, she is an entrepreneur, she's a world-class traveler, and a good friend. Please welcome Jennylynd James to the show.
Hello.
Welcome,
Hello,
Jenny. Welcome.
Hello, Keith. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Glad to have you.
Thanks for coming on and spending some time with us. We were together not too long ago on my show in front of the live audience, and everyone just loved you. I just remember, people saying, "Oh, I met someone. I met the lady who was the PhD." They were just so impressed and curious with you. I forgot to mention that Jenny is actually Dr. Jennylynd. She is a PhD and just a very, very grounded, but just very knowledgeable person. I really enjoyed chatting with you. You recently published a book. Can we talk about your recent publication and then the others that you had in the past?
Yes. So, as you mentioned, I have a PhD. I had studied food science at McGill years ago, and I worked in the food industry for many years in U.S. and also in Ireland. And I moved to Canada 4 years ago, to Toronto, I should say, 4 years ago. And I had such a profound experience living and working in Ireland that I was motivated to write about my experiences. And that's how I published my first memoir, just talking about experiences as a Caribbean woman living in Ireland. I had a Caribbean food business. I developed a range of sauces and spices under my own brand, Bad Boy Sauces. And I got Irish people into Caribbean food by force. And it worked quite well. So my first publication talks about all the experiences and what it was like, as a bit of a pioneer, really, promoting Caribbean spices and sauces in Ireland. And so the book is called Escape from Ireland, and people always ask, why was it an escape? Well, the way things happened at the end when the economy crashed with recession, we felt like we had to escape from the situation. Mm-hmm. And so we moved here in 2011 to Toronto, and it was quite tough starting over. I had to start from scratch because I didn't have any family in Toronto or friends for that matter. So it was quite tough moving to this city and trying to create a new life. And the first year and a half in particular, went through quite a number of situations that were life-changing in some respects, but strengthening in others. And so I developed the second memoir, or wrote the second memoir about my experiences as a newcomer to Toronto. And that one is called Goodbye Pan, Hello Fire. They say jump from the frying pan into the fire. That's how I felt, because I left Ireland, the recession had hit really hard, and I lost my business, my house, all of that. And they say, okay, let's go to Canada where the streets are paved with gold and everything will be okay. And it wasn't. So let's see. The title of the book, which I didn't come up with the title, it was a good friend of mine who lives in Europe. I was telling her when I moved here, oh my God, what did I do? What was I thinking? And she came up with the title for the second memoir, Goodbye Frying Pan, Hello Fire. So these books are available on Amazon.com, and you can get more information on my website, JennylyndJames.com. And recently I've been working on another memoir because I have traveled quite a bit for work primarily. And before moving to Ireland, I worked in the fresh fruit and vegetable industry in California. So I spent 6 years in California and had many opportunities to travel for work, particularly to Central America and South America, because I was a food safety and quality assurance director, and I had to visit farms and pack houses wherever bananas and pineapples were grown, and melons, all the fruits that were imported into United States. I had to go and do inspections of the operations. And I had many exciting experiences traveling throughout Latin America. And so my most recent memoir, it's all about those experiences and what life was like settling in Southern California and, meeting people, half of whom wanted to be movie stars in Hollywood and, getting all caught up in the Hollywood hype and that sort of thing. The book covers a lot of ground in terms of the mentality of Southern Californians, as well as opportunities to travel for work. So that book is called Red Car, Long Legs, and that's as with the other titles, they all have special meanings based on what was happening with me at the time. And you would have to read the book to figure out what the Red Car Long Legs was about. So that book I recently finished the edits, which should be on Amazon next week. So I'm really excited about that. It's
congratulations.
a lot of hard work, but thank you. It will be online for purchase next week, and I would plan to launch the 3 books in Trinidad at the end of this month. I'll be in Trinidad in time for the Bocas Literary Festival, which is a big literary festival in the Caribbean with authors from throughout the Caribbean coming to Trinidad. I'm going to have my own book launch on April 26th at Alliance Francaise in Port of Spain. So that's April 26th, in case we have any Trinidadians listening online. It will be an afternoon book launch from 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. at Alliance Francaise in Port of Spain.
Oh, parlez-vous français?
Oui, je peux parler français.
Oh, excellent.
And then in the Bocas Lit Festival on the Thursday, that's April 30th, I plan to participate in one session called Stand and Deliver, and this is where authors get an opportunity to read passages from their books. So that's on the Thursday, 30th of April. And then another event I'm really excited about, I'm going to have authors booth at the Harlem Book Fair, which is Saturday, 18th July in New York City. So I'm also going to present my 3 memoirs there as a series. It's called Relocation with Joy, a series of memoirs all about relocation stories. And so that's Saturday, 18th July, Harlem Book Fair in New York City. And I'll do a few book readings too at one of the sessions during that event. So those are some big events that are coming up for me as an author. I'm really excited and looking for more opportunities to promote the book.
Wow. Fantastic. Now, I know how much work is put into writing a book, so you've written 2 already.
Well,
and,
3.
3 actually.
Yes. But it's quite time-consuming and quite a few sleepless nights. In fact, I wanted to meet deadlines for the Trinidad launch, so I haven't slept for 2 nights. So tonight I'm going to sleep.
Yes, you deserve that.
When you're down to the wire, it's coming down to the end, and it's a self-imposed deadline, but I had to do it.
Fantastic. No, you'll get it done, I'm sure. So what's next? You're going to take any of these books and maybe make a movie?
Well, that's what I would like. I have to get a good producer. And I was advised to actually write a screenplay for the Escape from Ireland book. A few Irish people here in Toronto have read the book, and they say, the story is unique because they've seen a lot of stories about Irish people immigrating to America or different countries, but there hadn't been a movie about the new immigrants to Ireland. And when I moved to Ireland in 2004, it was the height of their boom, their financial boom, and there were immigrants from many different countries, mostly Poland and Eastern European countries, but quite a few Nigerians as well. And it was like a big wave of immigrants in the country. Had never experienced that before. So people are saying it would make an interesting movie from an immigrant standpoint, what it was like coming to a country that never really had immigration, because Irish people always left their country in search of a better life somewhere else, But the country had a sudden financial boom and people were coming there. So, I've been told that the story is quite unique. So I'm looking for a good movie producer. If you know anybody, please give me some contact.
I know an amazing online TV producer. I could talk to you.
Okay.
If you're looking to make it a series, I know somebody.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And I'll make it easy for them. I will actually work on the screenplay because that's the advice I was given. Don't just hand somebody a book, write a screenplay, and then hand it to them and see they can see what they can do with it.
Right. Great idea.
You know what, Jenny? You'd have two versions, because the book is Escape from Ireland, and then the movie would be Escape to Ireland.
Well,
if it was about like the boom and people going to Ireland at that time, you know what I mean. So that would be like both sides.
Yes, we could have two. That's an interesting take on it. All right.
It's an interesting twist. Yeah, I like that.
Yes. Very good.
In your different books, it seems like the readers can pick up a bit about what you experienced in these different places, like Ireland and California and then Toronto. So people can kind of just gather a bit about what you went through and just what it's like, for people who haven't been there.
Yes, definitely. And I've done some crazy things too, so some readers have asked, how could you do that? So people are able to live vicariously through some of my antics, if you call it that. And also just to understand what it's like as a newcomer, especially when you go to a country or any place and you don't know anybody. How do you get started? So if you read the book, you get a lot of ideas of how I was able to survive. And, for example, I got a job in California and I just went there. I didn't know anybody. And so I talk about all the loneliness initially, and then how I was able to join various organizations and make new friends until it became almost like family. So it was the same situation in each country, describing what it was like initially, and the loneliness and having to find inner strength to just go on and connect people and literally push yourself into events. You had to be kind of just
your own publicist and manager and agent. Yeah.
And everything, yes. Yes, so I have
but look how far you've come.
Well, it's still, I'm self-published, so I have to do a lot of work to promote the books, because it's one thing to write and another skill to actually do the marketing. So that part I'm learning, and I'm trying to figure out how to market books.
Right.
So still quite a way to go. But I'll continue writing because before I moved to California, I lived in Tallahassee, Florida.
Oh, wow.
I was there for 3 years. I love my southern drawl.
There go that look. There go that southern look. She got it right, Nikki.
So that's the next book I plan on doing. I've done a draft already. I was there for 3 years working at Florida A&M University, and it was my first job in the U.S. So I'm going to write about those 3 years in Tallahassee and what it was like working at the university and cultural differences and all that, because I had just finished studying at McGill and got a job doing research at FAMU. So it was very interesting, and the cultural differences are just unbelievable. So I have to write about
That's
that,
gonna
you know.
that's gonna be a hit, Jenny.
Okay, I hope so. You know, so you're familiar with FAMU and the Marching 100 and
Well,
and
yeah, just the just the whole Southern thing and the cultural differences. Absolutely, there's a lot of those. So yeah, no doubt. Where these experiences, do they help you? Going through these different situations and just different living different experiences. Do they give you the ideas before you decide to write the books, or do you kind of have the plans to write the books and then you just go out and kind of feed all of this, feed these experiences to yourself to help you carry on with your premeditated idea?
No. I just write what I've experienced.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I used to keep loose journals, but in terms of the let's say the book I wrote about living in California, I had many photo albums and scrapbooks and journals. So I went back and I looked through everything.
Right.
And I was able to remember, because it's not easy to remember that far back. I'm talking about like from 1999. I had to, if I had to just pull the information out of thin air, it would have been quite difficult. But back then, I used to print a lot of photographs, and I was very good at documenting information, keeping scrapbooks. I have tons of scrapbooks and photo albums. So in fact, that book was easier to write than the more recent one, where everything is digital and not really in one location. The albums and scrapbooks are in a particular closet, so I was able to just reach for them, take them out, and if I had to describe somebody, I just look at his picture and say, oh yeah, that's what he looked like, and just write it down, And I kept some diaries to when I traveled to places like Peru, Ecuador, Costa Rica for work. I kept journals. So in some cases I was able to read it and remember, my goodness, that's where when I went to Cusco, Machu Picchu, I sat on this particular train. I even kept the train skips. And, without these details, I couldn't write about it, but I kept everything. And so I was able to just refer to my journals and scrapbooks, and I was able to get a lot of details for the Red Car Long Legs, the new book.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I'm Tallahassee.
Well, I'm inspired. I'm actually putting together a book, and I know how much work is going into it, and it's really good to be able to refer back to some of the memories with the tangible evidence of you being certain places, little mementos, and that certainly helps to jog certain memories, sensual memories, and that. So I think you're definitely on a wonderful path, and we didn't even mention your art, Keats. The work that Jenny has is just it's brilliant. Like I love the choice of colors. They're very vibrant, and spending time in the West Indies. I'm Jamaican born. I definitely get that feeling, the island feeling when I look at some of the images, and I really appreciate your mindfulness to how you put your paintings together. So I think you've got a really great repertoire of work, and I can't wait to see the other parts of what you do to come. So I want to thank you again for coming on the show and sharing some of the many wonderful things that you're doing. And I'd like to ask, because I'm sure people are wondering how to get in touch with you so that they can see your artwork, or how to get a copy of your books.
Okay, so all the books are available on Amazon.com. So if you get to the Amazon website and you input Jennylynd James, a series of books would come up. I also have some art and inspirational booklets. So my artwork with inspirational sayings, that's some new work that I've put on Amazon. And then again with the artwork, it's JennylyndJames.artistwebsites.com. Or if you go to my website, JennylyndJames.com, JennyLynd James.com, you'll find information on the art and the books on my website.
Oh, okay.
Fantastic.
You know, before we get out of here, I got a question I have to ask both of you two book writers. All right. If I wanted to start, you know, from time to time, I feel like I have a book. You know, I've got a good idea for a book, you know, to tell where do I start? Like, how do you know, you know, let's say you're writing sort of a biography or something about your own life, I should say. Where do you begin?
Well, you have to decide what time period you want to cover.
Mm-hmm.
I just think about it in years, you know, because I lived in one place from this month, so year to the next year, time segments. That's what I use for my writing.
Okay.
So if you think of it in a chronological order, that's one way to do it. But it depends on what you want to write.
Right.
Do you want to write a specific time slot or general ideas, or if you want to write on a project? You know, it depends on what you want to write.
Like kind of like you said, just kind of a life story from then to now. Yes. You know. Okay.
Right. So you just focus on a small time frame.
Yeah. Oh wow.
And you start at the beginning, and what I do is kind of plot it out first. You know, let's say approximately 10 chapters, and each one could be a year, and then you say, okay, well, in this first year, this is what happened. So if you plot, make a little plan that then you can handle one chunk at a time. It's easier that way than trying to think of the big picture.
Yeah, because it's
small. That's really good advice. Yeah, that's great advice.
Small pieces and work on each piece and then put it together.
Right. Is there a certain amount of pages that is the qualified number to create maybe a chapter, or can it just be as many as you want it to be?
Well, I have used traditional publishers, so I just do anything I want.
All right.
I don't think there is any one fixed standard. I haven't seen that at all. I've seen books that are published by traditional publishers, and they're all different sizes. So it's just what you want to do. You know, I think it's a personal thing.
Oh, okay. All right. Wonderful. All right. Well, listen. You know, again, we congratulate you on all your success. Now, some of the I know you're speaking about some of the dates, which we're going to give a rundown to all the listeners everywhere ahead of time before we go. Will some of these dates include? You know, I know you have book readings coming up, but are there also some art galleries as well where you'll be displaying art?
Yes, I have some art shows coming up. At this moment, we have teamed up with 2 Grenadian photographers, and we have artwork on show at the Tropicana Center for Excellence in Scarborough. That's Huntington Drive in Scarborough, Toronto. And that artwork will be on display until the end of this month.
Okay.
And then May 2nd and 3rd, I'm going to have some landscape paintings on show at the Aurora Town Hall as part of the Aurora Spring Show. So that's Aurora, Ontario. Mm-hmm. And then also, again, with the same 2 Caribbean photographers, we have artwork on display at the Bradford, Ontario Library. So that's in Bradford, Ontario.
Okay.
So that's where I have artwork on display.
All right.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And I have one of your pieces in my living room.
Oh, yeah. Fancy and Slim. That's your favorite.
That's my favorite, yeah.
Oh, boy. I was thinking of doing a Tanty and Slim series where they go on a date, you know, in different venues. So I have a new one that I did 2 years ago now, at a beach. So the print that you have there at a park, and the next one, Tanti and Slim, are at the beach, and so I have to find another venue for them to go out to.
Just a frame of reference for you, Keith. Tanti is that's typically what you call a mature woman, right? That's a term of respect. You know, like auntie or tanti in the West Indies, and she's very she's a plus size woman. She's very solid, and her the male companion is a little bit smaller than she is, so he's slim and tanty. So I think what they're on their first date in the painting that I have at the park.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. That's version 1, and yeah, you know, in the Caribbean, we like to use nicknames. So everybody has a nickname.
Wow.
So Tati and Slim, those are their
wow, beautiful.
affectionate names. And people tend to get nicknames based on physical attributes as well in the Caribbean. You know.
Hey, look, I hate, look, I don't know.
It's always like this.
Look, I don't know if I know what they want to call me over there then. Hey.
It always happens like that, you know, but it's always an affection.
It's all affection. It's all love. It's all love.
I guess say they had some name for me like Twig Star or something like that over there or something.
I get brown girl when I'm down there, so you know it's okay. I don't even take it any other way. It's just love.
But you know what? I like that because the way you guys are describing it and explaining it really sounds vibrant. It sounds like something that's joyful and it will make you smile. You know, absolutely.
Yeah. Usually.
And then usually.
Yeah,
usually.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Well, thank you so much for having me on the show. I enjoyed speaking with you all today.
Oh, you're welcome. More than welcome. It's a pleasure.
We love to have you back anytime. Listen, I'm going to give a quick rundown of the dates, all right? And Jennylynd, I want you to, when I, listen, we're going to do this like a roll call. When I give the dates, and then you can give the location, okay?
Okay.
All right, April 26th, from 2:30 to 4:30. Yes.
That is book launch at the Alliance Française, Port of Spain. That's in Sinclair, Port of Spain.
So this is in
book reading.
So
Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay, that's what I wanted to get out because these are happening in different places, pretty much, right? Different lands.
Oh yes.
Okay, so all the global listeners out there, wherever you're listening from right now, if she says somewhere that's in your neck of the woods, make sure that you show up. Okay, so that's in Trinidad. Now, April 30th.
Yes. That's in Trinidad as well. I'll be doing a book reading at Stand and Deliver session during the Bocas Lit Festival in Port of Spain, Trinidad.
Okay. And we've got July 18th, and that's in New York.
Yes, July 18th, that's a Harlem book fair. It's the biggest black book fair in the United States. So come on out, New York, New York.
All right. And at Aurora, or May 2nd and the 3rd.
Yes, so that is the Spring Art Show. It's a big art show for all people in that region, King City, Aurora, Bradford, just north of Toronto. So come on out. It's a wonderful big art show.
All right.
In Aurora, May 2nd and 3rd.
That sounds wonderful. And you can also, everybody make sure to check out Jennylynd James books. You can go to Amazon.com as well and look up Jennylynd James. And you can, everybody can also go to JennylyndJames.com to your website and find out more information, right?
Yeah, and our interview is up there from the last time we were on the Nikki Clarke show. It was a great interview, so you can check it out on YouTube or on the... Yeah? Awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely make sure you guys check that out. You listen to the radio show, you get, Throwback Thursdays, you get all of that. But make sure you tune in to Nikki Clarke as well to check out her interview with Jennylynd James also. And, sit down and watch these two wonderful ladies talk about what's going on. Awesome. Oh, and Nikki, also, and that's on your sites too as well, right?
Yeah, it's on the NikkiClarkeNetwork.com, so you can just scroll down and look through the different episodes, and you'll see the very many wonderful, talented people in and out of Toronto on the show.
Absolutely. Sounds great. Jenny, we thank you for coming on and talking to us today.
Thank you for having me.
No, you're welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay. Take care.
Right.
You know,
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
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 Everybody, you're listening to Throwback Thursdays with myself, Keith Harris, and the wonderful Nikki Clarke. Wow. Awesome